Is the left just crying wolf, or has this president been involved in more scandals than any other president in the history of America? I'm Ed Kaine. I'm hosting a conversation in progress. Let's get down to this. If you could remember the most recent scandal, say a scandal just a week ago or 2 weeks ago, you're going to be one of those people that have a great memory. If you can start to think back all the way, early on in this administration, I said, wow, that's an amazing scandal about some topic. And then I said to someone, can you remember what the scandal was last week? Can you remember the scandal the week before? This is the trouble. This scandal-ridden president, one of the ways he's keeping himself in the media is constantly generating scandal after scandal. So the most recent scandals, folks, right now, well, actually tomorrow, 3 million cases of COVID-19 in the United States. 132,000 deaths plus, right? Already, and it's only been really since March, that this has all happened. All these 132,000 people that have died from COVID-19. Other countries had their peaks and settled off. They said, let's have the peak fast and then get this thing solved. But instead, we had the peak, we stayed at the peak, and then they reopened everything. Everything that was working was countermanded by an effort to get back in there. So what are the recent scandals from just this last week? Trump accidentally posted something from something called the Villages in Florida, somewhere. Don't worry, it's something a retirement community where people are driving around in golf carts yelling "white power." So Donald Trump retweets this. Oh, by accident. He really retweeted it by accident. I'm sorry. The dog whistling has been a long history. Now, what dog whistling was, if you don't know, it's talking about states' rights when you're really talking about taking away rights from citizens in those states. Instead of having a federal law that protects people, you want states' rights to protect the rights of the states to oppress their people. Typically with racist policies, things like that. That was a dog whistle. A dog whistle is a thing that people will recognize that what you're talking about, but you didn't say it. This is something that was really prevalent in Ronald Reagan's administration, and has been a staple of Republican politics for a long time. So you've got that scandal. You've got multiple things coming out of Bolton's book, as well as this amazing new story that last year Donald Trump was briefed in the presidential daily briefing multiple times about the soldiers who were going to be killed and paid for. They were going to be killed by Afghani terrorists, Taliban, different people were going to kill Americans. Now remember, up to that point, since 2014, we have not had 22 deaths. But last year, they were paying to have Americans killed by Afghanis. Up to $100,000 were being paid by Vladimir Putin and the Russians. So that's a pretty big scandal. What's the bigger scandal? He's not denouncing it. He's not out there saying that was ridiculous and please stop. No, he's trying to get him into the G7 again. He's taken our forces out of Germany. So think about this. Where are this guy's loyalties? If you were when we deconstruct this presidency, we're going to understand a lot more. But here's what the strategy is, folks. Overwhelm you with scandal after scandal. And now you can't remember the scandals from 2 weeks ago. From 3 weeks ago, right? You can't remember the scandals that are just happening constantly. So when they're brought up, do you know that this is one of the few impeached presidents? This is the third person to ever be impeached, third president to ever be impeached by the Congress. There was one senator Mitt Romney, who voted on one of the articles to impeach. Okay, so there you go. It wasn't enough. It did not remove him from office, and all that happened in January, and all this devastation has been happening over these last few months. Now, if you are having a hard time recognizing that your life was better 4 years ago than under this guy, if you're not going to bed every night and going, oh my God, I hope I have a job, I hope I don't get a contagious disease and die of it, I hope that the country doesn't devolve into a revolutionary kind of situation. I hope. If you're not thinking, am I better off now than I was 4 years ago? Or if you're thinking that and you're thinking, yeah, I'm better off now, I'm sorry, you're not. This virus was probably going to come anyway, right? This is not Donald Trump's fault that a virus occurred, right? But it is his fault and his administration and all the Republicans who decided, no, we can't allow this. This is Fox News, disinformation, all these many factors. This is my opinion, right? If you would have just come out and shared, hey, wear a mask. Now, unfortunately, early on, the CDC was worried because we didn't have enough masks in the country. We didn't have enough capacity to make masks for healthcare workers that people should not wear masks, right? Oh my gosh, if everybody goes out and grabs all the masks, then the healthcare workers will have no masks. Well, yeah, but solve that. In the month since they enacted the Defense Production Act, they have not enacted the Defense Production Act. They haven't caused anyone to do this. They haven't asked anyone to actually make masks. People have made ventilators. Tesla designed their own ventilator and brought it to market. You know, ventilators, very important. Respiratory illnesses like this. But for the sickest people, they need the ventilators. There's other methods they're using. Great. They're doing some oxygenation of blood directly, bringing blood right out of the body, oxygenating it, and bringing it right back in. Amazing what medical science can do. But incredible efforts to keep people alive who just simply won't grab their mask and put on their mask. Come on, people. This is very simple. So the scandal after scandal, that's the theme of this. If you are overwhelmed, if you're just tired of this scandal after scandal president, and you can't remember what it was like, just think back to the Obama years when wearing a tan suit was a scandal, where they created a whole birtherism thing about his birth certificate, and then he gives in and gives the birth certificate, and that's a scandal. Oh my gosh, it looks like a real long form birth certificate. Oh my gosh, what the heck? Here's a birth announcement in the Hawaii Times or some Hawaiian paper. Come on. All this stuff makes us tired. We don't really want to know the name of the leader of the Republican Party in the Senate, Mitch McConnell. We don't want to hear about another scandal from this dude. But we have to. Because that's the strategy that they're using to make you tired of politics. But don't give up. Don't get tired of politics. Just get out there and go, guess what? I'm going to vote. I'm going to vote absentee. I'm going to stand online. I'd say if your state allows you to vote absentee, definitely vote absentee. They're going to contest this election anyway. That's the next scandal, right? That's the last scandal that he's got. He will, that's my prediction. He will contest this election. We need him to go down a lot, go down hard. So if you're in a safe state where it's a blue state, let's rack up those points. Let's get millions on the table of votes against this president. If you're in a red state, don't get discouraged. We just need to rack up some Democratic votes there too. Now, the strategy is they're gonna paint Joe Biden as a weak candidate. Guess what? Sorry, Joe Biden's a weak candidate. It's very plain, but he was progressive on a few things. He was one of the first to come out strongly for same-sex marriage, as you saw. So it's not that he doesn't have a progressive bone in his body. It's that he's going to need to be helped along that way. There's no third party that's going to be able to beat Trump. There's no other way to beat Trump. We have to beat Trump by voting, and it is the candidate to vote for is Joe Biden. So let's go ahead and do it. Now, can you have concerns? Yes. Can you press for more action on things you need? Of course. That's what we're doing. We can get his ear. But you've seen that. Here, another scandal for you. Police, the army, the National Guard, tear gases and plows through and shield bashes an Australian journalist. All these things. Come on. This is out of hand. But the strategy, again, is to scandalize you. So many scandals. Oh, there can't really be that many scandals. Yes, there are. There are a lot of scandals. This guy has just been a scandal generating machine. And that's part of his charm, part of the way he's winning this. So take nothing for granted. You have to get out there and vote. Please vote for the flawed candidate. He's way better than the evil candidate, right? So the one with the empathy, right, is Joe Biden. He's gone through a lot. It's just, why paint him as a perfect man? A ham sandwich should beat Trump this year, but it has to be one ham sandwich and it has to be Joe Biden. I'm sorry. It's the one we ended up with. I'm a big Bernie fan. I still think that AOC, the squad, people who are trying to bring that change to America, things that we need to be done, that needs to continue. But the system is the system. And you start off from where you start off and feel very encouraged because the world is changing, but it can change in a very positive way. Now just imagine if you aren't happy with where you are from 4 years ago to where you are now, just think of where you will be 4 years from now if Trump wins. So there's no third party. There's no vote for Kanye West. Apparently he's going to run for, I'm sorry. He's going to run for president. What? Okay, so just think about that. This is a conversation in progress, so please bring your ideas. If you want to start listing scandals, that's great, but if you like this content, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. We'll bring you a lot more stuff like this. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.